And episode 1 of Man in the Arena, the Tom Brady documentary, dropped on ESPN Plus. And I do suggest that everyone that's listening to this, if you made it this far, just go and watch that documentary. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate Brady, that hate the Patriots, that hate everything they stand for. They call Brady a cheater. Brady, with his greatness, with his 7 titles, with all those years with the Patriots, with all those, controversies and accusations against him. Almost every franchise, for some reason or another, doesn't like Brady. You're a Raider fan, you don't like him. You're a Colts fan, you don't like him. You're a Bronco fan, you don't like him. You're a Steeler fan, you don't like him. You're a Dolphins, Jets, Bills fan, you don't like him. If you're in the NFC, if you're a Falcon, Saint, or Panther, you probably don't like him because he just showed up to your division and, made it happen right away. That's almost half the league already. If you're a Ravens fan, you probably don't like him. There's a lot of teams. If you were ever good in the AFC in those 20 years he was there, you probably don't like Tom Brady. So, my roommate's a Raider fan, and obviously the Raiders have that tuck rule game. So when I told him to watch it, it was kind of like, I don't really like Brady, but man, I love sports documentaries, and he was down to watch it. And sure enough, even he enjoyed it. And they had, spoiler alert, don't keep watching if you haven't watched it, but they did a segment on that first year that he took over for Bledsoe, and they showed the tuck rule. And my roommate's a Raider fan, and even him as a Raider fan thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's just a really good documentary. First episode, it was greatly put. All the footage that they used, all the clips, all the audio. It was. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I'm very excited for episode 2. And one of the most shocking things to me, obviously, when he took over in 2001, 2002, I was a young pup. I was born in '95. I was barely 6 years old. I wasn't really in the football scene at that point. So, I do know like most of the story about Tom Brady taking over for Bledsoe, leading them to the Super Bowl, beating the Rams, beating the greatest show on turf, preventing the repeat. I do know that stuff, but I didn't know some of the stuff like I didn't know Drew Bledsoe finished the game for the Patriots in the AFC Championship. I knew Bledsoe was, a franchise quarterback at the time. I knew he had gotten paid. I didn't know he was like the first $100 million contract. I didn't know like a lot of the little stuff, and it was just a great, insightful documentary that really enlightened me. And it just made me think like how many, like at so many junctions, at so many crossroads, this could have gone a different way. Like obviously the one that we all think about is like if Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, like does this happen? Like, and we also think like if the tuck rule doesn't happen, does Brady happen? Does he still become the GOAT? Those are like the two natural ones. But now that I've watched this episode 1, if Brady doesn't get injured in the AFC Championship game, does he lead them to the win? Because even he said it that he was kind of scared. He was intimidated by the Steelers. And he got hurt and he got knocked out, and Bledsoe balled out. Bledsoe, being a more veteran quarterback, being $100 million man, having the composure, came in, and obviously he's been to a Super Bowl before. He's a franchise guy. He's not like on his second year. He's been a veteran. He came in and just showed that leadership, showed that grit. And McGinnis was saying it like, we thought he won the job back. So we obviously saw Brady was good enough to win it in the Super Bowl, but he did say himself that he was intimidated against the Steelers. So that's one of the questions that came up to my mind. Like, what if he didn't get hurt? Did he have it in him to beat the Steelers? We'll never know. And if he didn't beat the Steelers, does he still become Tom Brady? Or is there like a full-blown quarterback competition going into the next year that Bledsoe might win? And then it also dawned on me like, okay, what if Bledsoe wouldn't have led them to a victory? That's another juncture. That's another crossroad where it's like that could have had a completely different, outcome. And also Belichick I already respected Belichick. I've had some of those thoughts too where I'm like, he's a cheater. Because, a lot of that stuff happened when I was a young pup. Now I'm kind of over it. It's like, whatever. Like, he's a great coach. He's the greatest coach of all time. But the fact that he benched the first $100 million man franchise quarterback after they gave him that much money, that shows a lot of balls. He's holding them. So shout out to Belichick for doing that. But it kind of reminds me of the Rams, kind of like. I think Bledsoe was. I would like to think that Bledsoe was better than Goff, but Goff got paid out, got $100 million, and he got to a Super Bowl too, and he lost that Super Bowl, kind of like how Bledsoe got them to a Super Bowl and lost. So, you know, I was thinking like, oh, that would never happen in today's NBA. I mean, today's NFL. Like that would never happen. Like that's crazy. Like Belichick, I was giving Belichick props, and I still do, but I was giving him maybe a little too much. Like, oh, no one will ever do that. But yeah, like it could happen. Like we've seen Wentz lose his job to Hurts. We've seen Goff, get shipped out. We all kind of, as NFL fans, kind of saw it coming. They're like, bro, Goff is not the guy. Like, why are you paying him? But the only thing is, with Goff, even before he got paid, there was people saying like, oh my God, you shouldn't pay this man that much. You could tell that McVay is elevating him. He's not the guy. From what I'm hearing, it's everyone kind of knew that you should give Bledsoe the money. You should pay him. He is a franchise quarterback. So it's just, do want to give just Belichick all the props in the world. Like that decision, sticking with it, like leaving Bledsoe in the bench once he was ready to come back, leaving Bledsoe in the bench in the Super Bowl once he was ready to, once he led them to the victory in the AFC Championship. That's incredible. That took me by surprise. That was just like, wow, what a moment. But overall, that documentary has been amazing. Great sound bites. McGinnis, I think he really shines too in that first episode. You just see the leader that he was. I always liked McGinnis from the latter years that I got to see him, even being the leader of the Browns, seeing him transition into NFL Network. He was always great on TV. And he showed that. He showed that on the documentary. He talked great. So overall, great episode. I think my roommate enjoyed it too. The only thing he didn't like was, the Raiders part. But just overall, great documentary. I'm excited for, episode 2. And it also shows the difference in the NFL is completely different nowadays. Like the stats that quarterbacks are putting up right now compared to back then is just night and day. But godly, man, Brady, he was ready. He was ready for opportunity. He took it. And I also earned a lot of respect for Bledsoe, man. That must have been gut-wrenching, just devastating. I would have been heartbroken when he confessed, saying that he cried after the Super Bowl. Like, dude, I felt bad for the man. But he was always a stand-up guy. He's a great guy to Brady, as shown with all the clips, all the mentorship, all the, just being a teacher for him and not, throwing shade at him, not helping him out, not turning his back on him, just being a great friend, great teammate, great person. So shout out to Drew Bledsoe for just being a great person, being a great leader. I think if Bledsoe doesn't, carry himself that way, doesn't show that leadership, doesn't show, that team first mentality, I don't think the Patriots win. I think he has a lot of it to do. He has a lot to do with it too. Like once you see the guy that's making the most bucks, that's dying to get on the field, play it so cool, play it like just be team first. I think that does a lot for the team. It's almost like along the same lines as earlier when I like just seeing Curry trying to go for a charge, throwing his body on the line. The sacrifice that he's doing for the team. The sacrifice that Bledsoe was doing by not acting like a diva and not going to the media and stirring up controversy, distracting the team. The sacrifice that Bledsoe did, I think that really helped unite, gel that team, just feel like a family, feel like, like we're bigger than our own egos and our own emotions than our own, goals. Like the team comes first. I think Bledsoe really helped instill that into that team. So I just want to give Bledsoe like so much props and credits. Like what a man. Just the fact that he was always there for Brady and he took it on the chin and then when he broke down, like I said, that was a touching moment. So my respect for Bledsoe just went through the roof after episode 1. And, Brady shined a lot. Obviously, it's his documentary, but great episode 1. I'm excited for episode 2. If you haven't watched it and you listen to all this, obviously now you have all the spoilers, but I can guarantee you're still going to enjoy it. And if you did watch it, let me know what your favorite part of the episode 1 was, because I enjoyed the whole thing, but probably my favorite part was just realizing what a great man Bledsoe was. It was great to see it on screen. It was all the clips of him coaching up Brady, just being there, holding the clipboard, just being a great teammate. I think that's probably what I enjoyed the most from episode 1.